Last month, the Knicks stood alone, NBA champions, one of the most dominant playoff runs we've seen in years, but now everything has changed. LeBron James is officially a Philadelphia 76er, Giannis is in Miami, Kawhi is potentially back in Toronto, Mitchell Robinson is wearing Celtics green, the Hawks got tougher, the East went absolutely insane. And for the first time since the Knicks won the championship, there is a legitimate question every Knicks fan has to ask. Has the Eastern Conference finally caught New York, or did every contender simply get better on paper? Because today I'm ranking every legitimate threat to the Knicks title defense, and I think one team has separated itself from everyone else. Let's get one thing straight before we even start. Everyone is chasing New York, not the other way around. That's the biggest difference heading into this season. The Knicks are not trying to prove they belong anymore. They already proved it, and Mike Brown has a full offseason to install more of his offense. You got the entire starting lineup back, Shamet is back, Jose Alvarado is back, the chemistry is already there. That's something that no other contender can say, and that's why until someone actually beats this team 4 times, the Knicks deserve to be number 1. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, Philadelphia. LeBron James just shocked the basketball world by choosing the Sixers for what he says will be his final 2 NBA seasons, joining Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and Jaylen Brown. If everyone is healthy, and that's a big if, this is probably the most talented team on paper in the Eastern Conference and potentially in the entire NBA, but that's also the problem. Everything depends on health. Joel Embiid has struggled to stay available for full seasons, LeBron is entering his age 41 season, and you're asking multiple high-usage stars to develop chemistry immediately. Could they beat the Knicks? Absolutely. Do I trust them to stay healthy for 4 playoff rounds? Probably not. On paper, they're the biggest threat, but paper does not win championships. And also, there is only one ball, and there's so many stars on that team that could have the ball in their hands at all times. Are those guys willing to sacrifice whatever it takes and reduce their ball usage in order to win a championship? That is to be determined. Then we do have to mention Indiana, because honestly, I think that's the team that most fans are overlooking right now, because Tyrese Halliburton returning changes everything. They already know who they are, they already have chemistry, they already play one of the fastest styles in basketball, and continuity very much matters. The Knicks know that better than anyone. Indiana does not have the biggest names, but they might have the fewest question marks. So they are still dangerous, and if I'm New York, this is the team that I quietly keep my eye on probably the most. And Atlanta also deserves some respect. They pushed New York in the first round. Now they've added one of the league's best perimeter defenders in Lou Dort and improved their overall depth. They're not championship favorites in my eyes, but they're no longer an easy playoff matchup. And then Miami adding Giannis changes everything defensively. Giannis and Bam together would be terrifying on that end, but I still think they need another perimeter creator or 2 before I put them in Philadelphia's tier. And Boston, losing Jaylen Brown hurts for them, but Mitchell Robinson does help defensively. But between Robinson, Paul George, and Tatum, there are legitimate durability concerns entering the season. Toronto is interesting because if the trade goes through, Kawhi makes them competitive again if healthy, but that's always the question. It's about health. Detroit still has Cade Cunningham, Orlando is still young and talented, Cleveland made headlines making it to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I'm still not convinced that they've answered the same playoff questions that have followed them for years. Now here's why I still have the Knicks at number 1 in the East for next season. Every contender got better, but every contender also has a massive question. Philadelphia, it's health. With Indiana, it's can Halliburton return to peak form over a full playoff run? For Miami, it's do they have enough offensive firepower? For Boston, it's also injuries. Atlanta, can they actually beat elite teams in a 7-game series? And for the Knicks, they already answered the biggest question. Can this core win a championship? The answer is clearly yes, and that's incredibly valuable because when pressure hits in May and June, you don't suddenly build chemistry, you don't suddenly create the trust, you don't suddenly discover your identity. The Knicks already know exactly who they are. So if you're asking me today, who is the biggest threat to the Knicks repeating, I'm putting Philadelphia at number 1 right now. Not because I think they're better, but because their ceiling is unbelievably high if everyone stays healthy. Right behind them, for me, it's Indiana. That's the sleeper I think a lot of people are underrating heavily right now. And after that, you got Atlanta, Miami, Boston, and the rest. The East absolutely did get stronger this summer. There is no denying that. But until someone actually knocks the defending champions off the throne, this conference still belongs to New York. Now I want to hear from you. Who do you think is the Knicks' biggest threat this season? Is Is it Philadelphia with LeBron now? Is it Indiana with a healthy Halliburton? Or is there another team that I'm overlooking? Let me know down below. And if you enjoyed today's breakdown, do not forget to like, subscribe, as it does help a lot for the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one.